Brethren, the paper I'm presenting is entitled Be On Your Mettle, a reflection from historical sources of the significance of metal in the first degree, the rationale behind asking a candidate for initiation to remove all metallic objects before entering the temple. The initiate stands somewhat bemused in the northeast corner. The evening has been long and confusing. Well-rehearsed words flow around and about him. His attention, however, is suddenly riveted. Secondly, to evince to the brethren that you had neither money nor metallic substance about you. For if you had, the ceremony of your initiation thus far must have been repeated. Why? A short while later in the ceremony, he is handed a quite obviously metallic chisel during an explanation of its moral symbolism. As the meeting closes, he finds a crib that in the next ceremony he will be asked to describe the mode of his preparation. I was divested of metal and hoodwinked. Our initiate, being an intelligent man, asks himself what the connection with metal is all about in a society professing high moral principles. But no one ever tells him. The Preston lectures of the late 18th century provided one commonly accepted interpretation. Why deprived of metal? For 3 reasons. First reason, that no weapon may be introduced into the lodge to disturb the harmony. Second reason, that metal, though of value, could have no influence on our initiation. Third reason, that after our initiation metal could make no distinction amongst Masons, the order being founded on peace, virtue, and friendship. The embargo, though, has been on everything metallic. Let us look at a ritual of 1742. He is deprived of all metal articles that he may have about him, such as buckles, buttons, rings, snuff boxes, etc. There are some lodges where they even deprive the man of his clothes if they are ornamented with gallant, which was a gold or silver thread. Given our operative traditions of craftsmen, the trowel in one hand, the sword in the other, there seem to be glaring inconsistencies here. If Prestons were the only reasons for excluding metal, then a simple ban on weapons and potential gifts of money or jewellery would surely serve our purposes admirably. There must be more to it. A worshipful master is instructed to seek guidance from the volume of the sacred law. And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewn stone, for if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. Book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 25. And the house, when it was in building, was built of stone, made ready before it was brought thither. So there was neither hammer nor axe nor tool of iron heard in the house, whilst it was in building. First Book of Kings, chapter 6, verse 7. There seems to be a clear link here between the presence of iron and the pollution of a temple or other holy place. Certainly, in the first millennium BCE, base metal was widely considered the ultimate pollutant, and suspicion of those who worked it can be found in the widespread legends and folklore of many cultures, such as Wagner's Ring Cycle, the Norse legends, etc. This cultural sense of pollution by metal may suggest an explanation more sophisticated than Preston's, and which may well be found in the Bible. Now, no blacksmith could be found in all the land of Israel, for the Philistines said, lest the Hebrews make swords or spears. So all Israel went down to the Philistines, each to sharpen his plowshare, his mattock, his axe, and his hoe. So it came about on the day of battle that neither sword nor spear was found in the hands of any of the people who were with Saul and Jonathan. The first book of Samuel, chapter 13, verses 19 to 22 of the New American Standard Bible of 1977. The production of wrought iron required great craft skills, and given the very high temperatures and flux required, the almost magical ability to transform iron ore into wrought iron with hardened cutting edge was jealously guarded, normally handed on from father to son within a long settled community. It follows that the nomadic pastoral communities like the 12 tribes of Israel would neither have the tradition nor knowledge of working iron, and in the interests of their own security, the occupying Philistines would have ensured that it remained that way. This then was a problem. The metalsmiths around Jerusalem could only be Philistine. As they worshipped false gods and idols, their presence would pollute the purity of the Israelis' place of worship. If the smiths could not work in the Temple of Solomon, it followed that nothing metallic could be used on site. Our conclusion then may be simple. Speculative Freemasonry uses the imagery of the building of the temple at Jerusalem to assist a Mason's moral development. As the presence of metal polluted the construction of the original temple, so the presence of metal in our own ceremony symbolizes to the initiate a requirement to eliminate those influences in his own life that might restrict or pollute the development of his own Masonic moral temple. I hope that, brethren, goes some way to explain the significance of metal in the first degree. Right at the outset of the presentation, it was stated, and nobody ever tells him. And certainly I didn't know until much further on in my Masonic career. So by using Solomon and presentations and nuggets such as this, we can improve our own knowledge and make the ceremonies more explicit for our candidates. I hope you've enjoyed this, brethren, and I will look forward to another presentation soon. Thank you.